Hello and welcome to this week's video. Today we're going to be tackling the Hanna-Barbera cartoon style, and I hope we're all excited for that. Now let me tell you a little something about Hanna-Barbera before we begin. It was an American animation studio that was popular during the late 50s all the way up to the 80s. It helped shape the childhoods of many during its time with its colorful and very pleasing to the eye characters with their hilarious hijinks. The production company was better known for cartoons like Yogi the Bear, the Smurfs, and the Impossibles, to mention just a tad few. But trust me, they made a lot. The founders of the iconic cartoons were creators Willem Hanna and Joseph Barbera, with their partner, film director George Sidney. Now, when I say the Hanna-Barbera style, I mean those round belly bodies with those posed legs that remind me how ballerinas stand, those round corners, and just an overall friendly front look. And the things I reference heavily from this style are the cats from Top Cat and Snagglepuss, and also some quick draw McGaw for the Western accessories. Now, with that all out of the way, let's go on and start with the video. Now, what you might have seen at the beginning of the video was me trying to figure out how to get her hair into that, how to figure out how to draw her hair in this style. And in the end, I just decided to blend it all into her little beautiful head and add some quick little ponytails to the end. Now right here, we're starting to draw her hat. And that did take me a while to get the idea of how that hat works. But, I think overall it was a very satisfactory effect, and I don't know, I still feel like I could have done just a little bit tad more differently than what I have here. Like, maybe I should just learn to play around a little bit more with the shapes of hats and how they're drawn, actually. Sort of like, maybe even draw it a little bit like that Top Cat hat. And right here we're starting to get together and draw Father Hetric. Another thing I will point out for Maria was that it was very hard to keep her design very simple for me, mainly because I feel like she has a lot of key points in her character design that always need to be translated into whatever style I'm going to be drawing her in, and that is her scarf bandana thing, her poncho, and also her gun. Now, you may have noticed that in some of my past drawings, if you follow me on anything or like Tumblr, Twitter, so on and so forth, I don't always draw her with the gun, but I feel like it is a very prevalent or very important part of her character, and that's why I made it a thing that I will always draw her with a gun in this damn series. Now, Father Hetric, on the other hand, is actually probably one of the simpler characters to draw, and I feel like it's because when I was first drawing him, I really just wanted something very simple, since I feel like I was going to be drawing him a lot of times, all the time, in the comics. So I thought, well, if I'm going to be drawing him all the goddamn time, I should just be drawing him like the most simplest way I can possibly get him to be. And I think because his character design is so simple, I'm able to really adapt him a lot more freely into any sort of style that I will be working with. And that's just my tea for myself. Now we're already getting into the lining process, which is probably one of my favorite parts of drawing. Yes, lo and behold, I probably mentioned it already, but I really like lining things. Like, ask me to line something for you, I probably will if I got the time to do it. Yep. So in this one, I didn't really have to play so much around with the sort of pen settings I had. I already had one pretty much ready for this thing, because this is basically just the setting I always use for any sort of a drawing that I'm doing, actually. Now, again, we're back at it with the hat. The hat was very annoying. I had to really figure out how to get it to look a certain way, a way that I really wanted it to be. I didn't want to add too many lines to it, mainly because I feel like once you start adding too much to a character in a Hanna-Barbera style, it sort of loses its authenticity for me. So I really tried very hard to keep it that way, but I feel, again, like I didn't necessarily do all that well with Maria, but what more can you do besides that, actually? So here I am trying to figure out where her tail goes, and then I just fix up her poncho a little bit. I don't know, I still sort of feel like I could have done just a tad bit different with her, I guess if it really bothers me, I could just do it over again, but even then, I'm still satisfied with the results of how she came out. Now, getting myself ready to start lining good old Father Hetrick. Kept his eyes closed because I feel like that's another important part of his character. And I guess if I had to make like a character Bible for him, I would say eyes will always be closed no matter what. Whichever surprise expression he'll always have his eyes closed. And when they do open, oh boy, oh howdy, you better be careful, you better watch out there. Now, here's his little pot belly. I made him a lot more fatter than I did in my sketch, and I think it probably did a very good effect to him. He seems a lot more homely, even though since I added some weight to him, he probably should have been just a little bit longer now, but overall, still happy with how he turned out. Here you see me trying to figure out how to get his hand behind his back. Surprise, surprise, I couldn't figure it out, so I just decided to go with, that one looked pretty good though. Okay, well, surprise, surprise, I decided to go with just a little hand down thing, and even then I was still given some damn trouble with his goddamn fingers. Look at me go, just trying to figure out how fingers work. Yep. Did reference a lot of different hands in the style as well too. And then I had to figure out where to put his damn tail, which I think in a way looks like a little turd just coming out of his damn ass. But what can you say sometimes? We just need to make better choices sometimes, and that's the truth. Today's lesson is make better choices. Now, here we have me drawing the background. I did want to have it like a sort of hand-drawn thing. Even though it's done digitally, but still it's considered hand-drawn for me anyway. Did want to give it like a sort of painted effect, sort of watercolor. Just like, just a regular old painted background like any other old cartoon out there. I think I did pretty good. Probably would have been better if I picked some brighter colors though. I think I do there we go. I do fix it later on, so that's all that matters. No matter what mistake you do, as long as you fix it later, you're fine. Added some cactuses to the background. I do like drawing cactuses, just very simple. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Trying to figure out what to do with the sky. And now I'm trying to figure out how to color them. Of course, Father Hetrick out of the two is probably the easiest one to do because he's just a golden retriever. Yep, look at me go. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm just doing this all quickly because this video goes by quickly and I don't want to change the speed of it either way. Anyway, hoosers, adjusting myself in my seat. I am very primitive in how I draw. I just go over the lines and then go around the lines and then erase everything, and I don't plan on changing that anytime soon. In case you wanted to give me some advice on that, I'm probably not going to. I'll consider it at first, and then I'll just go back to how I normally draw things. Anyways, Father Hetrick, probably one of the easier ones to color. Very simple colors. For some reason, I don't know, maybe I should just figure out how to make Maria just a lot more simpler looking, but I still like all of the little accessories I added on to her. I just couldn't figure out what to take away from her. It still had that classic Maria feel to her. Anyways, here's his little hat. I like drawing his little hat. It's like that brim hat that appeared in that show on HBO, I think, or was it Showtime, called The Pope or The Young Pope. I honestly kind of want to see that show, but I'm actually not really sure if it's still even getting any seasons. If anything, they'll probably encourage me to watch it more. I like watching things that don't have a lot of content to them, that have already ended, because then I feel like I don't have to put in a lot of my time to it. Okay, now we're doing Maria. Oh yeah, but before we get to that, I wanted to say that I was trying to give that whole the schnozzle look color thing that most of the dogs do in the Hanna-Barbera style, where it's a two-tone face. The main tone is the rest of the face, and the other tone is the color that goes around the mouth, like I did with Maria right here. Father Hetrick, for whatever reason, I just couldn't get that to work with him, so I guess he'll just be clean shaven all the way. Now here's the part where I actually started adding just a tad bit too much to Maria again. Just a little too much. Just needs to chill on all the little details I had to add to her, but I feel like, well, all the cats have whiskers and little dots on their faces. I gotta add it to Maria. And then, I don't know, I feel like it's still a little bit too busy on her face. I could have done without it, but here we are now. So, of course, I had some troubles figuring out what sort of colors I should be adding to Maria. I did, color drop a lot of things from Quick Draw McGall. Um, honestly, probably one of the better cartoons from the Hanna-Barbera style. I mean, the series, their universe, or their expanded universe, whatever you want to call it. I think that's probably one of my favorite cartoons. And that, and probably, what's the other one? I didn't get to see Snagglepuss when I was little. Tom and Jerry. I think they worked on Tom and Jerry, but I don't really think it's part of the Hanna-Barbera canon either. Hanna-Barbera canon. Oh my god. Whoo, boy. R.I.P. headphone wearers. There's her hat. And I guess that's the end of that. So here we have the simple line drawings, and then here we have the final results. I did add a little bit of a TV staticky effect. Still like the way it turned out, of course. I hope you enjoyed watching that. If you have any comments, leave them down below. If you want to follow me on any social media, my links are down in the description, along with an extra video I thought was very interesting, talking a little bit about the TV process that they had making the Flintstones for, of course, Hanna-Barbera. I think that's worth a watch. And I hope you all had a good time, and I'll see you next week. Next week I'll probably be talking about, surprise, surprise, Umbrella Academy. Just a quick series review and my thoughts and recaps and how my hopes and dreams were ultimately changed for the better or for the worse. Tune in and find out next week. Thank you.